GameCorp Retro Review. I am Chad. He is Matt. We are going to review a Turtles game. It's TMNT Hyperstone Heist on the Sega Genesis. Here's how we do things on this show. We have 5 categories: graphics, sound, gameplay, fun factor, and challenge. We give each category a 1 out of 5 score, 5 being the best, 1 being the lowest. Can't go higher than 5, can't go lower than 1. We don't break our scale on this show. Perfect scores of 25 out of 25. Anything over 90% goes into our Hall of Fame. We haven't had one of those in a while, so maybe this game will be the one to buck the trend. Tune in to find out. Matt, start us off with the graphics.
As far as graphics go here, because you can't help but compare this to Turtles in Time for for obvious reasons. I don't think is wildly imaginative in terms of like its approach to level design as Turtles in Time is, but I think there's more going on in the stages that make the game at least a little bit more interesting. I do like the changes in the color palette and stuff like that. There's not a bright or vibrant approach. It's more of like there's more like dark certain effects, shadows and mist and stuff like that that kind of showcase a little bit more of what the Genesis can do. Character animations aren't too different. They might move a slight bit faster, but that's about it. Um, but I think it maintains enough to where it's a solid score for me. I think I'm going to stick with a 4. Sound, there's a few decent tracks here, but there's nothing that really stands out. My favorite music might be the dojo level itself, even though it's very corny. I like that. I like that part of the soundtrack, but everything else is on a basic level. So I'm gonna stick to a 3. As far as gameplay is concerned, people can probably fight me on this one, but I find the gameplay here to be just a slight bit better than Turtles in Time mechanically. Because where Turtles in Time had that throwing thing where you throw the character in the screen, I find the idea of slamming back and forth a little more impactful. It can also help you rid the screen a little bit. So that I think it provides a better flow to the gameplay. Other than that, though, everything works here on a fundamental level and all of that. I feel like the game's a little bit faster too, just for some reason. But my only gripe would possibly be is that the boss fights are a little bit slow and clunky, but aside from that, everything else works. So I'm gonna put it at a 4. Fun factor: almost always have a good time playing this one, and it never gets old for me. And it's kind of over before it becomes too much of a pain, like too much. So I'm gonna just go with another probably, but I wouldn't go too high. I'd go with a 3. And as far as challenge, I find this to be the most accessible out of the 16-bit versions of these games. I feel like, but it might be a little bit too easy, especially with the boss fights and everything. But if you're a new player to TMNT for like the first time, especially in this case, it's probably the perfect game for you to pick. And for that reason alone, I'll give it a solid 3 as well.
All right, just to clarify, for the sound, you gave it, what, a 3?
For the sound, I gave it a 3. That is correct. Yes.
Okay. So for graphics, I'm giving it a 4. I liked them. They were solid. Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo always had some very vibrant colors. That's what you're looking for in these games. I dug it. It was almost on par to the arcade game, which came out around the same time. The only difference is the arcade game probably had darker lines, and it gave it more of a fresh pop. But you know what? You did what you could, and it was pretty solid. Sound, it's Turtles music doing the so like it's cool. It's whatever. It's you're doing your thing. It's cool, but it's not great. So I'm giving it a 3. We're actually gonna have the same scores all the way down. Gameplay, solid. It's good. Liked it. It was fine for a beat 'em up. Got to beat up a lot of things. It's a 4. Fun factor. Sure, 3. As far as challenge goes, it's play it on an emulation. You don't need to worry about it. So 3. Like I said, it's solid all the way down. We finally agreed on one. Not for the first time ever, mind you, but for the first time in a while. So that's a 4, a 3, a 4, a 3, a 3. That's 17 out of 25. That gives us a 68. So there you go. Now you know what's up for this game show. I don't know why I'm saying things the way I'm saying them, but hey, it is what it is. Go follow us at realnerdcorp.com, REALNERDCRP.com. We're back next week for another Turtles game. You guys have a good one.